welcome back for another Procreate Sketch Sesh for making art every day. If you are new here, well, let me explain what Making Art Every Day is. It's a series of daily drawing prompts and tutorials to help you nurture your creative practice. Every month we pick a theme, and then we have weekly themes within that theme, tutorials, and lots of fun stuff to just help you with your creative practice. So I'm excited to tell you guys about our November theme. I can't believe it's already November. But I had something I really wanted to do for November, because we've had a few months of kind of just like a lot of learning, a lot of exploring, a lot of trying new things, and I've definitely seen the community like rise to the occasion, and I think like maybe we're getting a little tired. I think it's time for something a little more slow pace and just like a super kind of chill month of art making. You know, as we kind of gear up into the holiday season especially, it can get really busy. So hopefully we can use this month to kind of restore, recharge, and just draw things that bring us joy, which brings us to our November theme, which is simple joys. I've curated a list of prompts that are all just little things that might bring you joy. Of course, that's different for everybody, but I'm really excited about it. And I really want you guys to, encourage you guys to get into that mindset of just using your creativity, for rest, relaxation, to restore yourself, get comfy, and just, use your favorite brushes. You don't need to push the envelope. I think it's a good time to do that, which is why I'm I wore my pajamas for you guys today. Because I think this is kind of encompasses the mindset, and the goal is just like be comfy, have fun, enjoy yourself. So I'm excited to tell you about what's coming up for this month. So let me switch you down to my iPad, and we'll look at the drawing journal. Okay, so this is the drawing journal, and you can get this, you can download this at the link in the description, or we'll also share a link to it in the chat. But this is your little creative companion for the month, which tells you about the prompts and everything that we've got going on. So again, November, our theme is Simple Joys. And this page talks a little bit about this month, kind of what I was saying. It's been a few months of learning, experimenting, and November, we want you to slow down a little bit. Just keep it simple. So that's what this month is about. And we have a really fun tutorial coming up in Art Makers Club this month called Golden Glow, Warm Light and Soft Texture. I'm going to be teaching our members how to, we're going to sketch this cat and draw it, and then we're going to apply lighting effects, so shading, and then like a fun little glow effect to create this kind of warm, atmospheric little illustration. And, you will learn stuff too. It's not just like we'll learn about lighting, we'll learn about blend modes. I think it's going to be a really good tutorial, and hopefully it will feel also calming and fun. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be, what is that, next week already? November 7th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Pacific Standard Time, because time is changing this weekend, so I hope you guys are ready for that. So that's what's going on in Art Makers Club. And then the other big thing that we've got going on for November is our annual Week of Giving. We have been doing this every year for the past, it'll be our 6th year this year doing the Week of Giving. So this is the week of, Thanksgiving in the United States, but every day, Monday through Thursday, we do some giveaways on Instagram where we're giving away either a master bundle, which is my whole collection of Bardo Brush Procreate brushes, or a year membership to Art Makers Club, which is my online community with courses and tutorials and things like that. So if you're the winner that day, you get to pick which one you want, and you get actually 2 of your chosen prizes, because it's all about giving. So one for yourself, and then one to gift to somebody else. So if you know somebody that wants, to join you in Art Makers Club or have a master bundle with you, you can give the other one away. So that's going to be Monday through Thursday of that week. And then on Friday, save the date for 11/28 at 10 a.m. And we're going to be doing a live tutorial on YouTube. We've been doing the live tutorial for, I think, even more years than Week of Giving, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah, many, many years. We're just showing up for you guys on the Friday after Thanksgiving. So it's like Black Friday, but we call it Colorful Friday here. And we're gonna do a fun live tutorial together, and we'll be doing an iPad giveaway. So you'll wanna be present for that in order to enter and win it as well. And I will be sending out more details, via email and of course on Instagram and things like that. So stay tuned for more info about that. But if you wanna pencil that into your calendar now, you can go ahead and do that. And speaking of calendar, actually, I need to put it in the calendar. We do have a subscription calendar where you can get all the months, all the prompts. How do I go to the next month? Oh, just scroll. Right in your subscription calendar, and I'll show you where to find that. But every day you'll get a little gentle notification about what the prompt is for that day. So it's a nice little reminder to draw. And then we put all the events in the calendar too. So like the Golden Glow tutorial, we have an advice session in the Art Makers Club coming up, which is where you can submit a piece of your art and ask questions, and I help you out with that. And then I will add the tutorial there. I forgot to add it, but I'll show you where you can go and subscribe. It's really a great way to keep track of everything. Which I'll pop over there now actually and show you in Safari. This is our kind of home-based page for Making Art Every Day. makingarteveryday.com is where you can find it. And this is where all the prompts will be and related tutorials. You can also download the drawing journal here, but right here is a button to add all that calendar stuff into your calendar app right there. I'll come back to this page in a little bit. Okay. So let's take a peek at the prompts page. So these are our prompts for November. And so we have a short week to kick things off, just the 1st and 2nd of November. And we're doing joyful rituals. So, your morning coffee or your tea, and then an art making moment. It can be a picture of your iPad, some art supplies you like, other craft supplies, like whatever kind of creative moment you want to capture, something maybe you do regularly or however you want to interpret that prompt. And then the next week is the Sweet Ordinary. So these are just kind of everyday things that maybe bring a little comfort or a little joy to you, like a comfy outfit, your favorite fridge magnet, some fresh baked bread, a tidy workspace, welcome mat, watering your plants, a warm bath, just things that make you feel good. And then we kind of switch over to nature and things that kind of bring us joy in nature. So we have morning dew, songbird, fluffy clouds, tall trees, a rainbow, a sunset sky, and stargazing. So lots of fun little nature things. And then our next week after that is cozy comforts. So these are kind of just things that are cozy and comfortable, and like breakfast in bed, a sleeping pet, which is the inspiration for the Golden Glow tutorial, was that prompt. Your favorite chair, some hot pie, crackling fireplace, twinkle lights, and your comfort book. Or if you're not a reader, that could be your comfort movie or show or something like that, whatever you want to do for that. And then finally, in the spirit of giving thanks, because in the US it's Thanksgiving week, our last theme for the month that week is going to be gratitude. So these are all things that you can either make to show gratitudes, or maybe symbols of gratitude, things like that. So like thank you card, holding hands, bouquet wrapped in paper, dinner table spread, handmade gift, family portrait, and home sweet home, where you can draw your home if you want. So I'm really excited about the prompts, and I hope you guys are too. I'm hoping it'll be chill and you have fun with them, and you don't have to like reinvent the wheel or anything. Just kind of like pick the ones you want to do and have fun, and pick whatever favorite brushes you want to use. And then of course, we have a page where you can sketch out some ideas for your drawing this month, and then a place for you to track your progress, where you can paste in all of your artwork and kind of see everything all at a glance. So that is November. I'm really excited about it, and I hope you guys are too. I would love to hear in the comments what you guys think. Steph Patterson, hi Steph, she says love the comfiness. Oh, Lene is excited for the light tutorial. Yeah, I'm excited for that too. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, it's gonna be really great. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the art making portion of this. So what we do during these sketch sessions is I kind of do an overview of what's going on for the month, and then we jump into, I do like a live drawing session. So this is unscripted, unprepared. I just pick one of the prompts and kind of like draw it on the fly. And I'm trying to decide between two. I've kind of been thinking about what I want to do. I really like the breakfast in bed prompt, but I'm kind of leaning toward the welcome mat because I like drawing doors. So I think that would be kind of a fun thing to do. So I think I'm going to do the welcome mat prompt. So let me go ahead and get into that and I'll do it. All right, so I'm going to create a new canvas and I think I'm going to do like a vertical orientation because it's a door. So I'm going to use my favorite size, which for vertical, I like to use 2800 pixels by 3500 pixels. So I have a template saved for that. Oh, I see a question real quick. Where do we find the page Lisa's showing for November? So I wonder if you mean this one. Whoops. Which you can download at the link in the description right here on YouTube. Or if you go to Making Art Every Day, maybe this is what you mean, this page, makingarteveryday.com, you'll see this page. And this is actually meant to be like a companion for when you're doing your drawing. So I'll kind of show you the way that you might use that since that's kind of where we're at in our drawing. Okay, so I like to use the split screen with the website and then Procreate on one side. And now split screen is a little bit different if you've upgraded your OS to iOS 26. You actually have to like turn on this windowing thing, which you can find in the control panel, just like swipe down from the side. And it's this little symbol here to turn it on and off. So I'll have that on and then I can have like multiple windows. And so I like to resize Procreate down a little bit. So you just grab it from the corner and then find Safari and pull that, or I think you just tap it now and then resize that down. And then once you have them kind of resized down, you can actually just like swipe it to the corner. Like I like to call it, just throw it in the corner is what I call it. Throw it in the corner that way. Just grab the top and whew, that to the side. And then we have this familiar handle where we can resize the windows and they're kind of like in a split screen view. So it's like a few more steps to do it now, but that's how you would do it. Okay. So, and then the way that you can use this is we can have our reference photos in here as we work on our drawing here. Now I will admit I haven't gotten to it yet because it's been kind of a crazy week, but these will be linked up to Google image search. So you can actually go find today's prompt, tap on the prompt, and then it will go to a Google image search result for that thing. So it's really fast and easy to get your reference photos. But I am just gonna do a Google search for front door and see what comes up. I want like a really cute one, maybe with some fun details. Nothing too basic. So, maybe if I type in like pretty, like a pretty front door, we'll see what comes up for that. Sometimes adding adjectives will give you some better results, but there might be some more interesting. Ooh, like this one here. Oh, this is different. Safari, it works a little bit different with this windowing thing now too. Maybe I can get to this picture. No, I don't want that. Okay, that's the door that I'm looking at. Oh, this is a really pretty door actually. I love what's happening up here with the number and these little symbols here. So I might try to draw this cute yellow door. Okay, I'm gonna start with the sketch and I'm gonna use some of Procreate's built-in brushes. I don't know what I'll use for the final art, but I'm gonna recommend a pencil that I've been liking for sketching. Let me go back to, okay, so I'm in Procreate library under pencils, and I really have been liking the Huntsman brush for sketching. It's like really dark and I don't know, I like the texture of it, so I've really been liking that one for sketching. So I'm gonna start by drawing a rectangle, and then I'm gonna use the quick shape feature where you just draw the shape and then hold down your pencil, because that will give me nice straight lines, and I can tap here and choose rectangle and then kind of, I don't know, adjust this to get it the size and shape that I want for my door. Well, that looks pretty good. Oh, I need a little space for the arch on top, so maybe I'll go a little smaller. Alrighty. And then maybe I might do like a little kind of angled, so it's not like a perfect rectangle. Okay, I'll try that. And then we're gonna have kind of an arch here. So I'll do the same thing with quick shape, and then I can tap up here and kind of adjust it, get my half circle. Okay, that's good enough. All right, and then we're going to do a shape within the shape. So I'm gonna use quick shape again for that because this is like around the trim, like the actual door itself. Oops, let's do that. Oops, that's gonna go all the way down. All right, something like that. And then I'll kind of just sketch in this trim here. Okay. And now let's see. Do I want to do like the brick arch? I don't know. I'll come back to that. I'm going to do like the interior of the door first. So let's see. I'm just going to kind of do some guidelines. This is like for all that nice molding in this door. So I'll just kind of sketch in where those might be. And then we've got kind of 3 little sections of the molding. So maybe one can be there, little space, there, a little space. Okay, so it's these like interior kind of rectangles that I'm trying to create. Okay, kind of sketch those in, and then there's these like squarish ones. There we go. And now the bottom. Okay. All right, looks pretty good. Oh, there's the door knocker. Maybe I'll just use these. I'm gonna use the selection tool and kind of, I want a little more space in the middle, so I'm just gonna scooch these over a little bit. So just kind of like draw all around them, move them over, because then I have room for like the door knocker. Okay, it's really little, but it looks kind of like a shape like this with another shape a little bit smaller on top. And then sticking up, something like that. And then something going down. And then of course, the knocker itself. And then there's a number, 11. I'm gonna do 22, because that's my lucky number. Awesome. My favorite number is 2, and 22 is 2 2s. So this is my lucky number. Okay, let's do the mail slot, which is gonna go here. I'm gonna scooch these apart just a little bit. And then this is gonna be a little mail slot. And then the doorknob on this door is like in the middle of the door, but I might actually put it on the side. So let me see, I want to make sure there's space for it. We'll see. That could kind of be it. And then maybe like a doorbell. I don't know if I want to. Yeah, we'll do a little doorbell. I'm just gonna make it up, like a traditional kind of, not a Ring doorbell with the camera. Okay, and then there's some little, I don't know, swirly detail there or something. We could do something like that. Cute little doorbell. Okay, let's do some of these details up here. Okay, and there's like an oval in the middle. Oh, somebody else said their numbers are 2 and 22. Lisa, I think. Is your name Lisa too? It's spelled a little different than mine. My birthday is on the 2nd. It's actually coming up very soon on November 2nd. And so that's why the 2s, that's why I love the number 2, because it's my birthday. Alrighty. Okay, a little interior thing. We're gonna put number 22 in there. And then there's some little like star things we'll put there. I'm just gonna kind of do them in like that. That's so cute. That's why I like using references, because I never would have come up with a design like this on my own. And what I really like to do when I draw is look up a lot of reference photos and kind of pick and choose little elements from lots of different ones, and then kind of make up your own thing. So just find a bunch of photos and see like what inspires you. Like you could do the inside of the door from a different door, and maybe a cool little trim thing up there on a different doorknob or door knocker, and just kind of like mix and match basically. All right, this is a little off center, so I'm gonna move it. And I do move things around a lot like this in the sketching process, because it's important to get it right before you move on to doing like final color and stuff, because it's a lot harder to move things around once your color, once you get to that final art without kind of like messing with the, getting pixelated because you're moving things around a lot. And so it's just good to get it right then. And then there's a little something right there. That's cute. Okay. All right, there's like corners on the door. There's a lot of like fun little details on this one. And so we can add some lines to represent the trim, and then maybe a couple lines down that way. These can even stick out a little bit more. Okay. All right, the door is starting to look pretty good. So now I'm gonna make sure I do the door matte. That's cute. Okay, so the door mat, I'm gonna do kind of in perspective. So it looks like it comes out this way. There we go, and then I'll even give it a little height, like it's thick. A little 3D. And then I'll do the text, but I'm gonna actually do the text a different way. I'm gonna draw it upright. And then I use the selection tool to put it here, and then actually like kind of force that perspective on it using the distort, because then I can just do this without having to like try and draw it, like try and write the text in this kind of skewed proportions. And actually that's huge. So I'm gonna make it smaller and go back to uniform, and then I can like shrink it down, because maybe I can put some detail around it. Maybe I'll stretch it out a little bit. There, there's a little tip for you. And then if I want to add kind of some decorative elements to the welcome mat, I'm just, again, making some guides. And then I can, I don't know, maybe do a little thing like that. Oops. That's the only thing I don't like about the new windowing thing in iOS 26 is like I'm often like accidentally resizing the windows and stuff. I mean, there's a few things I don't like about it. Yeah, I feel like it was a lot easier before. Okay, so there's a little welcome mat. That's looking pretty good. Maybe I'll just kind of have it go out that way. And then maybe I will draw that trim around the outside. Kind of just sketch that. Okay, like it. And so this will be like little bricks like this, just kind of roughly sketching them in. And then maybe these can be bricks going down. Okay, great. Now I haven't thought about what brushes I want to use, but I was kind of thinking like an ink watercolor style. So maybe I'll do that. I'm just gonna position all this right in the middle, and then I'm gonna move on to the color. So let's see here. Trying to decide if I want to use some of the Procreate watercolor brushes or some of my own. Let's just make a new layer and just kind of play with some colors and brushes really quick. So this is Penguin from the new watercolor set. So I could use that one, which is pretty nice. Tansy is kind of nice too. It's got a little bit more texture. All right, maybe I'll use penguin. I'll try that one out. Okay, so I'm gonna just, reduce the opacity of this and then start laying in the color, and then I'm gonna do like ink work over the top. So I'm gonna go a little smaller with my brush size and just kind of do the outline in a continuous stroke like this and color it in, and I haven't lifted my pencil up. The reason why is if you come over it and you add another stroke, it gets like darker and darker because the brush has multiply blend mode built into it. So you want to make sure you kind of do those in continuous strokes to get a nice even color. And then I'm going to come over it again, and since it has that multiply, it like will automatically darken. So for these kind of like interior, like inside of the like door molding designs, I can add a little shadow there. There we go. And if I wanted the whole door to get, let me see, I have an idea. Okay, I'm gonna go over it a second time. And I'm kind of keeping the painting part of this loose. I'm not like trying to be super precise with it because the ink work is really what's gonna give it the detail and stuff. And actually, I wasn't zoomed out enough to kind of do all that in one stroke, so I'm going to do it again. Okay, going all the way around. This will just make the whole door a little bit more saturated. I'm going to leave inside those squares light for just a minute, and I'll show you why. Oh, darn. Oh, well, I'll erase that a little bit. Okay. Again, my pencil is all on the, haven't lifted it up yet. Okay, I think that's good. Great. And then I'll just erase that little bit there. Whoop. Okay, so now the reason I did that is because I want to come in here and leave a little bit of the lighter color like that. Does that make sense? So I don't know if that works. I'm going to try it. Just like leave that part light. I think it'll look better once there's like line work on it, but kind of making this up as I go. Okay. I think it kind of works. All right, that's fine. A lot of the door elements are going to be white, like all the trim is going to be white. I can maybe paint like inside these. We'll see how that goes. Maybe with like a dark blue or something like that. So this is going to be interesting, whether I kind of just paint in the negative space and leave the white for the trim, like all that trim detail. We'll see if that works. And then kind of paint inside this one. So the area that I'm not painting is going to become like the actual trim. Do this side. All right, this one. I might need to make my brush a little smaller because you get into these kind of little areas here. Like here. There we go. When I make the brush size smaller, I can be a little bit more precise with it. I don't want to do that. Okay, and then there's like one here. Let's do that again. Okay, here. Okay, I think that kind of works. And I want this to be a bit darker than it is, so there's a couple ways I could do that. I could like select this area and maybe go to the curves adjustment, and I could darken it that way. Make it more saturated. Or my other way that I would probably do that is to just select it and then duplicate it, and then set the duplicate blend mode to multiply. And that'll make it a little bit darker. And I could duplicate that as many times as I want, but I think that's plenty dark there. And then I can always merge those together. Cool, that's looking good. I'm gonna do my doormat. So I'm gonna do, you guys, do you see my color palette? I was being really silly one day and made it look like a pencil. Maybe I'll use this brown. Sometimes you get an idea and you're like, oh, what if that looks like a pencil? What if I made it a pencil? Okay, welcome Matt. Let's blob this in here. Kind of just going over the whole shape. Okay, and then I'm gonna go over this part again because that part would be darker on that edge. And I might go over the whole thing again just to make it a little bit darker. There we go. All right, that's looking pretty good for the doormat. And then for like the brick, I'm gonna make a new layer and I'm gonna set the layer to multiply just because of it'll look a little bit more like authentic, the way that the colors overlap each other. If I didn't, it would look like that and it doesn't look as good when when you're doing watercolor. I always set new blend modes to multiply for that reason. Okay, I'm gonna do a little brick color, maybe like a red brick. I might change my mind later. And I'm just gonna kind of go around this. I'm not going to do the whole thing, so I'm just going to leave about that much, and I'll come back to the brick. I'm gonna jump over to ink now. So I'm gonna make a new layer, and then I am gonna use a brush that I've really been liking from the Procreate 5.4 brushes. There's actually two. Oh, now I can't decide. Okay, this Nowhere Else brush is really great. It's kind of like a little marker, and I just think it looks so realistic, and I really love the way it looks. But I think what I actually want to do is one from the pen set, which is Minky. I've been really loving this brush because it has this kind of mid-century skippy kind of ink feel. So I'm gonna do a really dark, almost blacky brown for that. And then I'm gonna use that for my line work. Okay, so now I'm just gonna have fun just tracing over all all the stuff in my sketch. And I'm not worried about it lining up perfectly with the watercolor. I don't mind if it's a little loose-ish. So there's that. And then I'll add a line in between to be the molding. Maybe another line? I don't know. Sure. I'm using light pressure so the line's a little bit thinner. When I'm doing this style of artwork where I do dark inky line work with kind of the blobby color underneath. I like to mix line weights. That's what I'm trying to get at. So some lines are thicker and some lines are thinner. And you can, use pressure sensitive brushes to control the line width, or you can of course change the brush size. So let's do this. Okay, that looks good. And now we'll do this part of the door. And another thing to note is you know that I did that quick shape in the beginning to kind of create the door. But after, I don't tend to use quick shape much when I'm in the coloring phase because I want my lines to look like they're done by hand, so it'll be a little wonky. So I try as much as I can to draw things by hand. Sometimes I do need like a really straight line and I'll use quick shape though, so. All right, let's keep going. And I'll do these here. Oops. Another cool thing with this brush is if you draw fast, you get even more broken line. I was just recently at Lightbox Expo and I was hanging out with Kyle Webster, who made all these new brushes in Procreate 5.4. He's on the Procreate team and he is a legend in the brush making world. And I got to ask him a bunch of questions about the brushes and he was telling me lots of fun facts and tips and things like that. It was really cool. Alrighty. Just kind of doing these inner details. I'll erase that one. All right, that's looking good. And then like you can do that there in the corners to make it look mitered. What I like about this art style is you can really get lost in all the little details of drawing something. Just like keep adding lines and lines, and you don't have to worry about like rendering and shading and making sure the textures of everything are perfect. You can just kind of like add fun details. Okay, that's looking good. Oh, I like it. Cool. I haven't even drinking my tea. I don't know if any of you guys were here in the pandemic. I know a lot of you guys found me during the pandemic. But you guys would always call me out for not drinking my, like I would always have a cup of tea. I used to live stream a lot during the pandemic. And I would always have a cup of tea and people would always call me out for never drinking it. It just sits there because I get distracted. I get really into what I'm doing. Okay, and then we'll add a line here. And I can even purposefully leave like some space and leave some lines broken, and that will add an extra element and, you know, visual element, and also make the line appear to be like lighter, smaller, so it's not as bold in those areas. Okay, I'm not sure how I want to do all this. If I want to outline everything, maybe just lightly, just like some, because you can't really see it a lot anyways. But I do want to define some of these shapes a little bit more. Especially like the corners there. There we go. Oh, right here. Okay, I think that works. Do a little doorbell. I'm gonna do a little, I don't know, little swirly thing there. Well, I'll come back to that. I think I need a smaller brush size. Just kind of like trying to make this look a little ornamental, and maybe a little loop right there. Loop, whoop, whoop. Just needs to look good from far away. Okay, let's make this trim have a bottom. We'll do the bottom of the door and the welcome mat. And now just kind of tracing over the text I did in my sketch. Welcome. And then I can even add some little marks like this to kind of make it look like, you know, there's a texture, like it's that, I don't know what that material is, on a welcome mat where you can wipe your feet on it and stuff. Maybe even I could do some lines like that too. And then add maybe a little, I don't know if I want a little texture there. What's great is like all this line work is on its own layer anyway, so if I don't like it, I can just literally go in and erase it. Looks pretty good though. Okay, door's looking pretty good. Now I'm gonna do, well, I didn't make this a color. Like, I think it's supposed to be brick, but I didn't paint it. I left it white, so I might have to come back and add some more color. And then, wow, see the windows, doing that window thing. And then maybe just some really, I'm doing really quick little lines for this because I don't want them to be super dark. These kind of like brick lines. So just really light, really quick so they're nice and broken with lots of texture. Oh, I didn't tell you the cool fun fact about this brush. Kyle said that it was inspired by Andy Warhol's early commercial illustration work. And I thought that was so cool, which has lots of like broken blobby lines. So there's a fun fact about the brush. It's also named after minke whales. If you didn't know, all the new brushes and some of the old brushes in Procreate are all named after like things from Tasmania. So like plants, animals, places, things like that. So this is a minke whale. So let's do 22. And then I'm just gonna make this solid here. So something like that. Oh, and the mail slot. You gotta make sure you get that in there. So many fun little details. Doorknob. I don't know what kind of doorknob this is. I was like the kind with the long handle or just like a knob and maybe like a keyhole. I don't know. You could always just add some lines to make it look decorative. Okay, so I think that's all the line work for this. I'm gonna turn off my sketch just so I can kind of take a peek. So now if I wanted to come back and add some more of like the brick, maybe I'll do it on its own layer and just kind of finish this up. Okay, watercolors. I'm back to the penguin brush and okay. Go around the doorknob or doorbell. Okay, and I might actually adjust the hue of this a little bit to make it a little bit less red because I'm kind of feeling more of a stone color, maybe. But then I could always come in and add little shapes like this, you know, to make it look like there's brick there. This would work better if the brush was kind of had a square edge. In fact, I have a brush of mine, a Bardo brush from my Watercolor Wonder set, which is a hard edge flat. So it's actually, oops, it's flat like that. I don't know if it matches, so I'm gonna go back to the other brush, but I could also probably alter that brush and make a flat version of it, but okay. All right, I'm gonna probably finish. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of blob these in as I'm starting to run short on time. So I think if I were to keep going with this, I might also come in and add a little bit more texture to here, to some of these bricks, but I think that's a good dropping off point. And I think it's a good kind of method to just get it, like, don't get it to perfect. Like, you could spend so much time on it and like get lost in all of it. But this month it's all about just having fun, getting something down, spending some time to be creative. And you can always come back to it another time, but like just spend a little time. And if you feel like it's stressing you out, just stop and come back to it later. So I think it's pretty good for now. I might come back to it and like add some more details like those little stars and things like that. But I really like the way that it's going so far. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed following along with me. Oh, yeah, see, I just noticed Jerry's question. Does your left hand have a job when you're painting or drawing? No, it's kind of just like here. You know, sometimes it's drinking, but it's hard for me to, you know, drink and draw at the same time. So it's usually just like hanging out, or if I'm on my lap, it might be like holding the iPad or something like that. So that's a fun question. All right, well, if I do add more to this, I will make sure to share it on like Instagram or an Art Makers Club. But I hope you guys are excited about this month. And just, I hope that you use this time, you know, use your creative time for resting, relaxing, and just be chill. It's going to be a really fun month, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So thanks so much for joining me today. Again, you get the drawing journal down in the description, and I can't wait to see your artwork. Please do tag me if you share your artwork. You can use the hashtag #MakingArtEveryday. You can also tag me, Lisa Bardot, on Instagram, and that way I'll make sure to see your pieces, but I can't wait to see them. All right, you guys, thanks so much for joining me today, and I will see you soon.